darkness seems so strong, and you just can't go on. Pray for your helping hand. You'll see the sun will rise again. You'll find the strength to carry on up to heaven where you belong. 'Cause life is but a journey for us all.
Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers around the world. Welcome to another exciting episode of our new series, Building a Better Future. I'm still your host, Malik, and I'm still here with Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid, all the way from Denver, Colorado, the Imam of the Colorado Muslim Society. You've seen him on the Inevitable Journey. You've seen him on the Stories of Hajj. You've seen him on the Righteous Companions, and alhamdulillah, now we have him on this new show, Building a Better Future. Listen, you guys, you can also go online and check him out at www.karimabuzzaid.com or on YouTube, IslamWay71. And don't forget, most importantly, to check him out on www.huda.tv. Now, what is our program about? We're talking about empowering a new generation of young Muslims. This show is for you parents, for mothers, fathers, future fathers. We want to raise up a generation of strong Muslims. How can we do so? Are they going to watch The Simpsons and Harry Potter and watch their favorite football players and soccer players all day? We don't think this is the way. The way is to instill in them proper values found in the Quran. If you have a Musaf, please open it, Surah An-Nur. Read from verse 46 through verses 57. Read the tafsir of Ibn Kathir. Get engaged with the Sheikh. He's asking you also to read chapter 5, verse 54. Last time, Sheikh Karim, we talked about loving Allah. We talked about teaching our children to be humble. We talked about teaching them to strive for the sake of Allah. What about teaching taqwa?
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna sayyidana wa nabiyyana Muhammadan abdullahi wa rasuluh. Brother Malik, I just want to begin by saying this is the most important project in our lives if we really care about ourselves and we care about the Ummah, the future of Islam. Basically, I want the parents, the teachers, the principals, the board of directors, the board of trustees of any Islamic institution to focus in this area. Maybe I said this before in a previous episode, but I want to say it again. I have seen it with my own eyes. People who came from all over the world to America, and they dreamt of building the best architect.
The beautiful mosque. That was their dream.
With the minaret.
In a dome and everything.
And as soon as that generation vanished, the masjid became
deserted.
Why? Because they focused on a building, but they did not build the future.
SubhanAllah.
And that is why they show building
a better future.
A better future. We're talking about the next generation that will dwell in the masjid.
That will visit the masjid.
You see, the Prophet ﷺ, when he came to Medina, yes, he put a building together, but a very humble one. Very humble one. We know from Hadith Anas, في البخاري ومسلم, that the Bedouin, when he entered the masjid, asking the Prophet when he was delivering the khutbah to make dua that the rain comes down, that the rain came down, yes, and it came down through the ceiling, that his beard got wet. This is how humble the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. But look at the generation he built inside that humble building, the companions. He instilled in them these values, these qualities. Loving Allah, Allah loving them. Humble amongst one another. Also striving
for
to the best of their capacity to do the work of Allah. And they feared not the blame of the blamers. The quality that you brought up and you wanted to talk about is taqwa. It's something that we need to instill inside our children from an early age. You're probably an English speaking
Yeah, of course, my native language, of course, English, yeah.
And our audience, the viewers the majority of them are English speaking, to my knowledge. And you probably opened the Quran so many times and you read the word taqwa, where it is muttaqeen, the word, the
different form of the word.
different forms of the word.
Noun, verb, etc., yeah.
Yes. And in any English meanings of the Quran, because we never call the English Quran a Quran, because it's not a Quran. The Quran is the Arabic.
And that's all.
That's all. The English is the meanings. You will find people using the word righteousness,
Or piety.
piety,
Right.
fearing Allah,
So we can't really get into...
consciousness of Allah.
Excellent.
All of these are terms and words, but I want the viewers to know something about the Quran, that there are certain words in the Quran that cannot be accommodated by a foreign language, because they are purely an Islamic terms.
There's no way to really
No.
get the essence in French or English
No.
or German or
You
Greek.
have to explain it.
Right.
It's a concept.
It's a whole concept.
It's not a word. Taqwa is a concept that includes all these meanings. I'm not saying that righteousness and piety is wrong,
Included.
but it's only a piece of it.
It's not limited just to righteousness
Yes.
or piety or
No,
what
it's a
have you.
piece. It caught a piece of the word, but not all the word. So we have to explain what is taqwa
Okay.
that we want to instill. Well, taqwa is an Arabic word. The linguistic understanding of this word is to protect yourself.
To protect yourself.
To protect yourself from something. Ittaqa, taqwa. To basically place a barrier between you and something.
What should we be protecting ourselves from?
Excellent. Now, and this is the technical definition of the word.
Okay.
أن تجعل بينك وبين غضب الله وقاية. That you place a barrier between you and the anger and the wrath of Allah.
Okay.
That's how you protect yourselves.
This is the Islamic definition of the word.
That's the Islamic definition of the word. Now, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has attributes of mercy, forgiveness, and attributes of punishment. Now, you want to place the attributes of mercy and forgiveness between you and the attributes of punishment. How do you do this? Basically by abiding.
Observing. Obedience, like we said.
Yes, the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But there is a key that must comes first to this, is the consciousness of Allah. We must instill into the children the consciousness of Allah. Meaning that Allah sees you 24/7.
There's no
regardless of where you go, regardless of what you do. Whether you close the door, shut the windows, Allah still sees you. And I always recall that story and enjoy it. One of our righteous predecessors, he's a great teacher. I don't recall his name, but he had maybe 200 students. And before they impart on learning from him, he basically asked each one of them to come tomorrow with an egg.
With an egg?
Egg. Chicken egg.
Yeah, okay.
And then he told them, listen, as soon as they arrived, I want each one of you to go and hide that egg in a place that no one sees you. And then come back to me. The winner will be the one who will be able to hide that egg in a place that no one sees you. All of them did except one. He returned with the egg in his hand. A little boy. What happened? He said, I went every place and I thought Allah sees me in every place.
SubhanAllah.
If you manage, and subhanAllah, we have a whole page in Surah Luqman, all that stuff that we're sharing with our viewers from the Quran. You know, there is a beautiful surah called Luqman, the second page. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ أَنِ اشْكُرْ لِلَّهِ. Luqman told his son this, يَا بُنَيَّ, my son, إنها إن تك مثقال حبة من خردل فتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأتي بها الله. O my son, if it is the weight of an atom of a mustard seed, And if it would be hidden in the heavens, imagine a mustard seed hidden in the heavens.
Nothing. It's nothing.
I mean, the stars are huge, you still see them
Right.
from a distance. Or a rock in earth somewhere. Allah sees it. Allah knows it. Allah hears the footsteps of a black ant walking on a dark rock on a dark night. How that's the key. That in order to, because you see, your children are not going to be around you all the time.
Of course not.
So you want to bring Allah into the picture, that if I'm not watching you, Allah is watching you.
This is the result. This is the fruits.
This is the fruits of taqwa.
Okay.
And if you manage to do this, you're safe.
Because they're going to be
You
at school.
have succeeded 99%
As a parent.
as a parent.
This is success of a parent. If we can instill this into them.
If they can be good while they are away from you.
Right.
Because them being good while they are around you,
That doesn't count.
it doesn't count.
Yeah, that's out of fear.
It
of
doesn't
you.
count.
Right.
It doesn't count. But the fact that they are considered of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your absence, where nobody is around them, that is the success.
Okay.
And this is what taqwa is all about. But this is again a piece of it, that you instill inside them the consciousness of Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you're thinking about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what inside your chest, even if you do not conceal it. But He's so merciful to you that He's not going to hold you accountable for the thought. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears the word that you say. If it is a lie. And subhanAllah, one of the things that I always use with my children when they come and, for example, they tell me that I did this and this. Allah knows if you did it or not. Did you do it? Allah knows. I wasn't there, but Allah was there.
And this is how you keep them in remembrance.
Yes. So you have, that's how you instill taqwa.
Okay.
You know, taqwa is a word, is a concept. How you instill in them, how you plant inside them that consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this has to be done early age. Early
okay.
age.
We're going to talk about, excuse me, Sheikh, we'll talk about more ways to instill taqwa into our children
Inshallah.
in the next segment, because we're subject to the director's commands. So stay tuned, you guys, and we'll be right back with Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. Assalamu alaikum.
Up to heaven, heaven where I belong. Up to heaven, heaven where I belong.
Welcome back, dear viewers around the world. Thank you for staying tuned to our new series with Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid, Building a Better Future. Sheikh Karim, we were talking about instilling attributes into the children. Last segment we were talking about taqwa and how we can instill it into the children. What are the fruits of that taqwa?
Well, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. I really want to explore a little bit with the viewers and with you, Malik, some of the definitions of the word taqwa. We talked in the first segment, like you mentioned, the big piece, which is the consciousness of Allah.
Okay.
And this is one way, by the way, to define the word taqwa. But here is some of the definitions of the word taqwa, which is actually the practical implementation of the word.
Okay.
The practical, which is in a way the fruit of this, like you mentioned. Right. The fruit of the consciousness. What is the fruit of the consciousness? Okay. Talq ibn Habib is, in my humble opinion, and this is the view of also of Imam al-Dhahabi and Imam al-Hafidh ibn Hajar, had the most fascinating definition of the word taqwa. He said this: التقوى تقوى أن تعمل بطاعة الله على نور من الله ترجو ثواب الله. That you act in obedience of Allah according to the revelation.
According to the revelation.
You don't make up your own set of obedience. Remember, for your deed to be accepted, it must be sanctioned by the Quran and Sunnah. It must be delivered to you. You cannot come up with your own little deed. Hoping for the reward of Allah, which is Jannah. You wanting Jannah. Because there are people who say that I worship Allah, I'm not for Jannah, I just worship Allah for Allah. What do you mean? If the messengers and the prophets wanted Jannah.
Right, what should we want?
I mean, come on.
Yeah, right.
And so you must really train. So the consciousness of Allah will drive you to act in obedience. Pray 5 times.
Right. Pay zakat. Observe Islam.
Observe Islam.
This is the driver of the car,
Yes.
so to speak.
Submission.
Right.
The pillars of submission. Again, you want to do this according to the revelation. صلوا كما رأيتموني أصلي. Pray as you have seen me pray. من توضأ نحو وضوئي هذا. Whoever makes wudu like my wudu.
And this is a very important point because people try to bring their own creative...
cultural,
right.
No.
Okay.
Sunnah. Again,
Okay.
Sunnah is not the recommended, like we mentioned.
Right.
Sunnah, the second half of the deen.
Yeah, the second
deen
half
is
of the
2
deen.
halves. Quran, Sunnah. They make the revelation. Once we use the word Sunnah in that context, we're talking about that other half.
Okay.
Which is the practical implementation of the Quran. Rasulullah was a walking
Quran, according to his wife, that's right.
Yes, his wife Aisha رضي الله عنها. فَتَعْمَلْ بِطَاعَةِ اللَّهِ. You act in obedience of Allah. According to the revelation, seeking Jannah. طيب, the other end of it, you stay away from the disobedience of Allah. Again, Allah is the one who identifies, defines, points out what is disobedience. What is the acts that are considered in the Sharia haram. Allah is the one who makes the halal, Allah is the one who makes the haram.
It's not for us to choose.
No. Again, according to the revelation, fearing hellfire. You don't want to go to the hellfire.
Love, fear, and hope, we said.
Yes. Fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. تخشى عقاب Allah. This is the best definition of the word taqwa. There is مأثور عن علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه that he said that الخوف من الجليل. علي بن أبي طالب يعني روية وهذه صيغة تمريض عند المحدثين يعني when you're not sure if Ali really said this or not, he say روية.
Oh, okay.
يعني it was narrated.
Okay.
That's how they do it.
Oh, okay.
So at least the viewers they know. روي عن علي بن أبي طالب, he said that التقوى تقوى الخوف من الجليل, that you fear Allah. والعمل بالتنزيل, that fear will drive you to act upon the revelation, which is what? Obeying the commands and stay away from the haram.
The
prohibited. Right? العمل بالتنزيل. Now this also will drive you to renounce the dunya. والرضا من الدنيا بالقليل.
What do you mean by renounce the dunya?
In the sense of the dunya is not an everlasting place. I'm sorry.
Right.
The dunya is just a temporary abode.
Yeah.
But is not the permanent abode.
Okay.
So, yes, enjoy the dunya, but the enjoyment that will help your akhirah.
Right.
Yes, we're not asking the people just to give up the dunya. We're not darawish here, okay? That's not what we're doing. But the dunya, the bottom line, the relationship between the two Malik is the dunya is a farm. Or let's say a garden.
Okay.
Where you plant trees, but you don't want to harvest the fruit of the trees here. You want to harvest it in Jannah.
Okay. Work in the dunya for the Jannah.
But I'm telling you, if this is your goal, you're still going to get some fruits in the dunya.
Okay, it's both.
That's how it goes.
Okay.
But focus on the akhirah.
Okay.
Focus on the akhirah. So don't dwell. But then this is what the Prophet ﷺ practiced. يعني عبد الله بن مسعود كما في السنن entered one day and he found him Rasul ﷺ sleeping on a mat that actually printed on his body. And he said, بكى, he cried, يا رسول الله كسرى وقيصر, Caesar, and they sleep in سرر.
Yes.
قال ما لي والدنيا. Okay, I don't want the dunya. I don't want the dunya.
I believe another hadith with Umar Khattab, he says, ما هذا يا ابن Khattab.
Yeah.
Right.
It was Umar ibn Khattab, yeah, I believe. So ما لي والدنيا, ما لي والدنيا. الدنيا ملعونة. Cursed is the dunya. هذا قول النبي في السنة. سنة الترمذي حديث أبي هريرة. الدنيا ملعونة وملعون ما فيها, and everything in it is cursed except إلا ذكر الله.
The remembrance of Allah, as we said yesterday.
What we're doing now, this is the remembrance of Allah. Or anything that can help you to remember Allah. Like what? Going to work to make a living, to nourish your body so that you can remember Allah. So people do not think that quit your job.
Yeah, right.
No.
Raising your family.
وَمَا وَالَى وَعَالِمًا, someone who teaches and someone who learns. هذه الدنيا. فتقوى is that fearing Allah that will drive you to act upon the revelation, renouncing the dunya, and be in a state of getting ready all the time to leave.
We want to be lovers of the akhirah.
Yeah, no, being in a state of ready, والاستعداد ليوم الرحيل. Act like you're going to die soon.
You're ready to leave everything.
And this is what the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to Abdullah ibn Umar, كما في صحيح البخاري كتاب الرقاق. He said, أخذ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بمنكبي. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم took my shoulder and he said, كن في الدنيا كأنك غريب أو كعابر سبيل أو عابر سبيل. Be in this world as if you are a stranger. Rather, stranger is too much. Stranger can maybe think about staying.
Yeah, right.
Right? Stranger may think about
Right.
willing. لا, passing by.
Just passing by.
Yeah. أو for the Arabic speaking, أو means بل. أو mean كن في الدنيا كأنك غريب بل عابر سبيل. غريب is too much too.
Yeah, too much even.
Yeah. Abdullah ibn Umar commented by saying, إذا أمسيت فلا تنتظر الصباح. If you are at night, don't wait to wake up in the morning.
Don't
وإذا
expect.
أصبحت فلا تنتظر المساء. And if you are in the morning, do not wait for the night to come. فهذه هي التقوى. Imagine somebody living like this.
Yeah.
He's acting upon the revelation. He's praying, he's doing his work, he's doing his things, but he's acting. فهذه التقوى. This is the taqwa. Here is Abu Huraira رضي الله عنه, الصحابي المعروف. He was asked, يا أبا هريرة ما التقوى? What is التقوى? What is التقوى? Abu Huraira answered the questioner with another question. قال هل مشيت على طريق فيه شوك? Have you ever walked on a walkway that has thorns in it? He said yes. The questioner said yes. Abu Huraira asked him, what did you do? Listen, he said, اتقيت. I protected myself against the thorns. اتقيت.
Protect.
This is التقوى.
This is taqwa.
The thorns are the sins on the way.
Or the sins.
You walk away from the sins.
SubhanAllah.
Ibn al-Mu'tasim, one of the people who say poem, he actually used this and he produced خلي الذنوب صغيرها وكبيرها فهو التقى. Leave major sins, minor sins. This is being tuqa, taqi. خلي الذنوب صغيرها وكبيرها خلي الذنوب صغيرها وكبيرها فهو التقى. واصنع كماش فوق أرض شوك يحذر ما يرى ولا تحقرن صغيرة فإن الجبال من الحصى. Leave sins, major and minors. This is righteousness and piety. This is taqwa. And do like somebody who's walking in a walkway where there are thorns. And do not belittle a sin. And remember that these huge mountains are made of small rocks.
This is taqwa.
A small sin, a small sin, a small sin.
And it built a mountain. Excellent point.
Yeah. So we need to instill in the hearts of our children the consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we do this, we will then be able to tell them, do not do this and do that. Do not do this and do that. Even in their, did you do it? Allah saw you.
Right.
They are inside the room and they come out. Did you do this thing? Yes, I did, Father. Okay, Allah saw you. Allah knows if you did it or not. It's between you and Allah. And you know what? There is Jannah and there is hellfire, my son. You know
this is the language we should be using.
Yes.
Right.
This is how we should treat them.
Right.
you're asking your child whether he did that bad thing or not. I did not do it. Allah knows. Allah knows. And remember, if you don't have to confess to me, confess to Allah.
Right.
It's between you and Allah.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me. But if you did it, you know what? Go say istighfar to Allah. Don't do istighfar
This
to
is
me.
the
Because Allah saw you. It's not about me. You can deceive me.
Right.
As a father, you can deceive
You're
me.
not always going to be there. As
I'm
you
not
said.
going to be there, but it's between you and Allah. And you know what? There are angels. You have two angels who recorded this. وَنُخْرِجُ لَهُ يَوْمَ And in the day of resurrection, the book of deed is going to read it. You better go and try to edit that book right now. Erase it. Go do istighfar.
Okay.
That's how we should treat our children.
Because as parents, we've almost failed if we raise a generation of children that have any taqwa. Where would that leave us as a nation, as ummah?
You failed.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be around them all the time.
Right.
You see, what you want to do, you want to instill in them the consciousness of Allah, which will lead them to what? To stay away from the haram, abide by the halal.
Inshallah. Sheikh, we're out of time for this episode. Where are we going in the next episode, briefly?
I would like to shed more light on taqwa if possible, but if I think we're tied with time, maybe we can talk about patience.
Okay, inshallah. Sounds excellent. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here. I really am truly honored to be here with you today, inshallah, in our episode.
Jazakallah khair, Malik.
And dear viewers, you heard it from the Sheikh. For all you parents out there, stay tuned next episode. These are really important topics you don't want to miss one episode of Building a Better Future. Until next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And when the darkness seems so strong and you just can't go on, pray for your helping hand. You'll see the sun will rise again. You'll find the strength to carry on up to heaven where you belong. 'Cause life is but a journey for us all. We cry, we laugh, we run, sometimes we fall. But through it all, always recall, God never gives a burden to toll.
اللهم اجعلني